Welcome to another video for Path to Nowhere, and today I'm going to be covering Tides of Ashes. I'm going to be covering a couple hints, tips, and tricks for the future, and of course I'm going to be kind of giving you hints about what's going to be being released for the future as well. Now, first things first, I'm going to be covering Tides of Ashes, what I think about the event now that it's about 3 days. Again, the reason why I'm doing this now, even though there's still 3 days left, is because once the next event starts kind of like peeping its head out, I'm going to be covering that as well. I don't want videos to kind of bundle up each other. But for Tides of Ashes, I really enjoyed it. I felt like 10 days was more than plenty. It didn't overstay its welcome. And again, this is not its only iteration. We'll be having this and other kind of content that we'll be releasing in the future. This also should kind of give you an idea about what I'm going to be talking about, especially in regards to sinners, but I'm going to get to that in just a second. When it comes to the rewards, I did make the calculations. Again, I apologize for the previous video. I said that you were going to start getting currency as you started, clearing stages through the Tides of Ashes, but you don't get currency until it's over. So even though I said in the previous video, oh, you want to buy this first, this and that, doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you're gonna be able to buy the shop if you've been constantly active and your secret society has been very active. I'm gonna get into that in just a second as well, secret societies, but you should be able to buy everything. As of right now, I made the calculations. Again, if your dailies and if you've been participating daily and you've been hitting the bosses real hard since day one, you should be getting about, give or take, again, it depends on how hard you've been hitting and how active you've been, should be getting in between 1500 to 1600 hypercubes and about 3500 plus of the event currency. That should give you enough currency to buy everything in the shop and still have enough to get in between 13 A rank soul marks or 16 B rank soul marks. It just depends on what you're building and what your aim is. So that's gonna depend on which soul marks you're gonna be getting at the end. Again, that's kind of nice. Again, when I first started playing Path to Nowhere, a lot of players were telling me, hey, don't worry about the meta, you just build whoever you want, blah blah blah. Unfortunately, you do kind of have to follow not a strict meta, but at least have some sinners in mind. I'm gonna get into that in just a second, but I'm gonna say this: if I had built those sinners in the beginning, I probably would have hit harder, or at least put more investment into those sinners over other ones, because again, I started building sinners because I liked them, instead of looking ahead and saying, oh, maybe I should build these first. Now, before I move on to the sinners, I did want to talk about secret societies. I was very fortunate to find a very active secret society that, one, was high level, and two, they were very cooperative with each other, bouncing off ideas, giving each other kind of like insights about what sinners to build, how to build them, what's coming for the future, what to save for, etc. So very, very fortunate that I was able to find a secret society like that, and that's something I actually recommend for you guys as well. If you're not part of a secret society that is cooperative and has a Discord, especially a Discord, again, you want to be able to give each other ideas and bounce around ideas and kind of help each other, especially to kind of look forward to other events that are coming out in the future. I actually strongly recommend it. Again, I was very fortunate to find one, especially like it was short notice. I was very, very fortunate to find a secret society that was very active and very helpful. But that's something I recommend for all you guys. Having a Discord definitely helps out, especially if you're stuck and you don't know what to do, or you don't know what to build or how to build certain centers. It definitely helps out, not just for Path to Nowhere, but all games in general. From here, let's head on to the sinners. Okay, now, when it comes to the sinners themselves, I'm going to be going through all the sinners in general, the ones that you can keep an eye on. But the first iterations of sinners I'm going to be mentioning are for both players that are very, very active and are looking to do really well in Tides of Ashes, especially for future iterations, and also for the players that are just looking to play casually and at least contribute something to your secret society in order for you guys to at least get the maximum rewards you can get. Level 25 is the max, so kind of put that in mind. If you guys are looking to spend money and actually hit really hard, I will be suggesting those centers, but that'll be toward the end. This is the first iteration that'll be for both of you guys, the guys that want to hit really hard, and for the players that just play casually but still want to contribute. The main centers are going to be like, for example, Pakasi, Hecate, Luby Array, Ariel, Hamel. You need healers, and Hamel and an Ariel. Again, don't worry about Hamel if you don't got her, but an Ariel is a must. She's very wonderful. Flora, Mr. Fox, Chameleon, Cinnabar. Ruleka's very RNG dependent, but some players do like her. But some players do recommend Ruleka. McQueen, Dolly, Wolverine, Tetra, Priscilla. I actually got a chance to use my friend's Priscilla. My friend's Mirror's Priscilla. Man, Rex. Yeah, so you have Priscilla as well. Labyrinth, Joanne, Che, Calvin, and Gekka. I can't pronounce her name. Gekka Baijin? Gekka Baijin? Yeah. Anyways, those centers in general. Now, I did mention Joanne and Calvin, and that's primarily because this is a problem that not only that still plagues the Chinese release, in that there is not enough arcane characters. So a lot of players in the Chinese side, they just got on, just started just building these because there's not enough. That's the primary reason. And most of these are, again, these are B rank, so they're very easy to build. They're very easy to just kind of get through, and just like you can get them to phase 3, level 80, level 90 extraordinarily quickly, because their requirements for leveling up and for facing 3s are not that massive, and also for their skills as well. If you're looking to put a little bit of extra investment into characters, again, I think the main ones I would recommend the most out of the lot are McQueen, Dolly, and Priscilla. I did mention Wolverine, Tetra, and Ruleka, but it just depends on what your overall preferences is. But McQueen is the one that's highly recommended, and then Priscilla. And then some players don't recommend Dolly, but I like her. But it's still it's your overall preferences. I gave enough kind of choices for you guys to just, okay, maybe you don't like certain characters, but you like the other one, the latter. I did mention Chameleon, and I did mention Mr. Fox. These are not healers. I used to think that these two characters were healers, and they're not. They're basically amplifiers, or they're buffers. So basically, Chameleon is actually a wonderful buffer for physical, and Mr. Fox, I wish I had built Mr. Fox fully for Ties of Ashes, because he actually increases the amount of time you break the core off of an enemy. So if you break the core off an enemy, Mr. Fox actually increases the time that the target is downed. So I wish I had just built him overall. Flora, another great character. Again, B rank, easy to build. Ariel, I think Ariel is the best healer. Honestly, I'm gonna say this. I think Ariel is the best healer in general. And then of course you got these three are the other characters that are for the arcane. Again, you don't got so many, you actually don't have a lot of them. You actually don't have a lot of arcane ones. I will be mentioning like the highest hitting characters for Ties of Ashes was actually Summer. Unfortunately for Summer, it's high investment, and by high investment I mean minimum 4 to 5 shackles. You can kind of make her work at 3, but if you want to hit really hard, she needs to be at 4 or 5 minimum. Shackle wise, again, phase 3, level 80, 90, a minimum. Again, not minimum, but at least you want to get there, And then, for example, for the other characters, Irene hits extraordinarily hard, and a lot of players are actually really looking into investing a lot into Baji, because her banner is going to come up right after the Oak Casket banner. So the next event I'm going to be talking about in just a second, but if you guys are looking to pick up Baji later on, I hope I pronounced that name properly, Baji. You're going to pick her up, or you already have her. Again, her banner is going to come up right after the other event. Again, I did mention the other characters. Irene and Serpent are also the other ones. Nox, Langley, Soya, and Demon. Actually, all of these right here. These are all actually really good. The one character that they did say, even though she's arcane, is our Stargazer. They're saying she's very niche. Unfortunately, she's mainly just a damage dealing. It's similar to Summer, but that's literally her only role, unfortunately. Again, I did mention a lot of characters that you guys can kind of look into. If you guys have questions about those characters, or maybe you don't have kind of like a good grasp of what's going on about the characters and what you should really invest into. Again, unfortunately for Ties of Ashes, it does kind of require you to like look into a meta, not a meta, but at least look into like, hey, maybe I should look into building a Mr. Fox or a Chameleon, a Cinnabar, or a McQueen, etc., etc. It does kind of give you those thoughts that maybe you should do that. Oh, I got this. That perhaps maybe you should do that, for the future. So again, if you guys don't know what characters you should be kind of looking into, or what characters you should be saving for the future, again, I'm going to be providing that kind of info as we kind of go down the line. But I will be giving you a hint about what's coming next. All right, so now when we talk about the events, one of the questions I was asked on the previous video in the comment section was, how does the rotation work for events in Path to Nowhere? It basically works like this. We usually have an event, like the main event. So for example, the previous event was Enfer, which was the museum one, right? So you had her event. After her event, then we have an off-banner character. For example, right now we have Langley. After the Langley event, we're gonna have another main event. Again, the main events lasting between 15 to 20 days, and then after that we hit another off-banner. So for example, right now we have Langley. The next will be the event. For example, for Oak Casket, which is the next center that's going to be released. And I did mention that if you guys don't want to pick up Langley, you want to save up for the next character. It is another reticle. It is, you know, Oak Casket or Oatmeal, whatever you guys want to call her. It is that character, which will be upcoming banner. And then after Oatmeal, it's going to be Baji. So it's going to be the Baji, you know, increased event. So you're going to have that character. After Baji, you're gonna have another character. It's gonna be, I think, 3 characters. One of them is a limited character, and I'm gonna get into that once we start getting closer to that character's release. But a lot of players, especially on the Chinese side, are telling me that, hey, you should probably save up for this character because one, the character is limited, which I hated when they told me that it's a limited character, blah blah blah. I was like, man, fucking assholes. But anyways, her name is Darren, and that's one of the characters that you should probably be saving for because, again, it's limited. Once that character is gone, that's it. It's not gonna go on to an off banner like right now Langley is right now, for example, you know, or the next one's gonna be Baji, etc. That character is not gonna be available for that. It's just limited. As soon as that character is gone, that's it, you know. So that's one character, and then the other character is gonna be released after the Baji one. It's gonna, again, I mentioned Darren, and the other one is Uwu. Yes, you heard that right. Her name is Uwu, and I believe she's a tank, a Umbra. But that's usually how it works for Path to Nowhere. So in case you guys are wondering, hey, what's coming up next? Is an event coming up next? Just look at what's going on in the banners. If it's an off-banner character, it means that the next one's going to be the event. And if it's an event, that means that the next banner is going to be an off-banner character. So again, I should give you an idea about what's going on. The character banners that are going to be popping up next one. Okay, I just mentioned Oatmeal, and then after that is going to be Baji. But that should give you kind of an insight about what's going on the future of Path to Nowhere. Again, I'm trying not to release too many videos on Path to Nowhere because I want to make sure the release schedules for everything, because it might change. Again, we're not that far behind the Chinese release, primarily because it originally wasn't doing so well in China, so they kind of pushed the global release a little bit earlier. Usually we have like a year in between the global and its initial release. But we don't have that, so we're actually about maybe 2-3 patches behind the Chinese release. So that's why it's like we're actually not that far behind. So I'm gonna make sure that, you know, we get the information right before at least for me, I'm trying to get the information right before I release it to you guys and kind of get you guys on the inside for that. I did mention Darren. Again, once we start getting closer to that character's release, I'm going to be mentioning that character a little bit more often, primarily because, like I said before, it is a limited character that will not be featured on a off banner in the future. So you might have to pull on that one, at very least get it to Shackle 1 before her banner disappears. So yeah, that should be it for Path to Nowhere. Again, I did mention the Tides of Ashes. I really liked it. I actually really enjoyed it. Look forward to world bosses in the future. I mentioned a few centers that you can kind of keep your eye on. Again, if you guys are looking to, like, you don't know what crime bands a specific character needs, let me know down in the comment section below. I'm more than happy to answer those questions. And of course, I did mention how kind of like the release structure is for Path to Nowhere, and I'll also kind of give you hints about characters that are coming out for the future as well. So that is it for my thoughts and my kind of hints, tips, and tricks for the future to Path to Nowhere. Again, I don't want to release just videos at random for Path to Nowhere. One, I'm trying to get the information as accurately as I possibly can, and of course, I'm trying to get everything appropriated so that, you know, I'm not creating confusion because I didn't do my research. But aside from that, again, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please ask down in the comment section below about anything. You guys can ask me about anything. I'm actually very chill when it comes to that. that should be it. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, well, I'll see you guys next time. If you guys actually really did enjoy, I'll see you guys next time. Take care, guys.